is a mystery to most. But for me, my life is entangled with history. French history, to be exact. And it seemed that there were tragedies that followed me throughout my whole life. Of course, I can't deny the fact that I was born into fame and fortune. My father, Louis Dauphine of France, heir apparent to the beloved Louis XIV, died in 1765. So, I became the new Dauphine of France. My grandfather, famous for his strong will, lavish spending, and political wisdom, decided to find me a wife. A wife that would not only be beautiful, but that could also bring peace to our kingdom. And since I am the hope for House of Bourbon, he wanted to make sure that my bride is as healthy and fertile as can be. When I was 15, he found me the Maria Antoinette, Archduchess, the daughter of the Emperor and Empress of the Holy Roman Empire. Her mother, Empress Maria Theresa, had 11 daughters and 5 sons. While her mother was known for her wisdom, my bride-to-be, Marie Antoinette, was known for her beauty. Even I was taken by her looks when I first saw her portrait. My mother did not like my grandfather's choice much, but it was not up to her, as it was not up to me. It is hard not to like Marie Antoinette. She was indeed beautiful beyond words. I enjoyed her company. We expected that she would breed a bunch of little children as soon as we got married. But our hopes were soon dashed when no kids came to join our joyful union. My mother-in-law was patient. She waited 7 years before her patience ran thin. She then sent her son, Joseph, for a state visit. He reported to her that I, this uneducated ruler of France, had not broken her daughter's seal. Well, thanks to my brother-in-law's man-to-man talk, I finally learned how to perform my duty to my wife, and within a month, she got pregnant. 9 months later, my daughter, Marie Theresa, was born. 3 years after that, Louis Joseph was born, and 4 years later, Louis Charles, poor child, followed by Princess Sophie in 1786. She died just before her first birthday. When I was born, France was no doubt the richest country in the world. We had Versailles, the culture, and the army. But years of unrestricted war drained our treasury. I wanted to be a good king. I knew France needed change, needed reforms. I tried to abolish serfdom, remove land tax and labor tax, and I promoted religious freedom and signed laws to protect the non-Catholics. My forethought led me to deregulate the grain market, and I believed in freedom and support of the North Americans to seek independence from those Brits. Of course, I can't deny the fact that I never did like those Brits, but I would like to see them lose. However, the free grain trade led to a bread crisis and food shortage. The support given to North America led to a deficit in our treasury. So I turned to our nobles. I was the first leader ever to prepare a budget and discuss with the House, but when my nobles saw those huge financial holes, they were in shock and refused to help. Well, then I proposed to tax the nobles, which was met with even more resistance. I was criticized for being too nice. If my grandfather was still alive, he would just tax the nobles and kill anyone who dared to speak up. But no, I am not him. I wanted to respect and listen to everyone. I allowed people to go against my ideas, to speak up and debate me. Then, this happened. From the day I ruled as King of France in 1774 till 1789, when the mobs tried to kill my queen, I had the power, and I had right to rule as an absolute monarchy. But when did I force on my people? When did I force my will? But it does not matter. My wife, my children became prisoners of revolutionaries. At first they tried to avoid divisions of France by allowing us to keep our titles. Except now, I am no longer king of France, but king of the French. We moved palaces from Versailles to Paris, and since that day, October 5th, 1789, I often look back and remember what I said to myself. This is terrible. At least it cannot get any worse. It did. Of course it did. In 1791, my Prime Minister of Foreign Affairs suddenly died. Then we started a secret council of advisors, hoping to turn things around for me. But, as things do, when it failed, it backfired. To avoid a further doomed fate, I decided to escape to Montmedley, and then to Austria. Axel von Fersen, the Swedish nobleman, planned the escape for me. But when the National Assembly caught us, we were sent back in open carriage. People along the way used the worst words imaginable to call upon us. They thought our escape was treason, a terrible betrayal to them and to our duties as king and queen. But I am a husband, and I am a father. I had to protect my families. What choice did I have? My brother-in-law, the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold II, in August of 1791, together with Frederick William II, issued a declaration which declared their concern for me and my family. They meant well and hoped that the threat of a war could ensure our safety. The French people considered it a threat. I was forced to side with my legislative assembly to declare war with Austria. The first part of the war started by invading Austrian Netherlands, but it was ill-prepared and the French lost. Then, the Prussian-Austrian army under Charles William Ferdinand, Duke of Brunswick, invaded France and issued Brunswick's Manifesto, which declared restoring us to full power as their intent, and it threatened to put all rebels to death by martial law. Sadly, that declaration was considered as the final proof of our collusion. Antoinette's family's desperate attempt to save us became the last nail in our coffin. On August 13th, 1792, we were arrested and sent to the temple. Funny, it was the name of an ancient fortress, and we became the sacrifice of the next big ceremony. The Girondins used us as hostages during the war with Austria, but my use was gone after the Battle of Valmy on September 22nd, 1792. Austrian troops withdrew from France, and they ordered to open my safe and found my private correspondence, which they said compromised France's security. So, a trial was ordered in December of 1792. The outcome of the trial was already set before it started. I was accused of crimes I never committed. I had my counsel, Raymond Disease, delivered my response. But I was found to be guilty and sentenced to death. I was devastated. Not for my fate, but for the fear of what people would remember of me. On January 21st, 1793, I was sent to the guillotine. I was 38. Before my death, I pardoned those who were the cause of my death. I then declared myself innocent of all crimes I was accused of, and I prayed that my blood would not fall back to France. I had more to say, but the general ordered a drum roll and rushed my beheading. I love France, and I would forgive them for what they did to me, but I was king of France. I was ready to die for my country, but they should not have murdered Antoinette. She did nothing wrong, and they should not have killed my son. He was only 10. They tortured him and made him accuse his own mother of molesting him. They left him to die in that filthy cell. He was only a child. People said that my brevity and dignity at the guillotine completed my legacy. I think they only felt guilty on what had happened.